Hello everyone, welcome to the Fortnightly. My name is Tito, and in this episode, I'll be sharing tips on how to pick the right photographer for your event or project. These days, there's a variety of different kinds of projects, events, and gatherings that all require the special touch of a professional photographer. Now, there are also different types of photography. For example, you have war photography, you have art photography, architectural photography, travel photography, photojournalism, and so on. You also have the more popular ones like event photography, food photography, fashion photography, and portraiture. And the list really does go on and on. Now, it may come as a surprise to some of you, but no one photographer can confidently or comfortably, if I may add, cover all the types of photography simply because photography is so wide. Best case scenario is that you may find a photographer who will specialize in anywhere between 2 or 5 or 7 different types of photography. For example, a very common combination down here in this part of the world, and really across many other places, is that you can find a photographer who specializes in weddings, events, and portrait photography. Anyway, because no one photographer is a master of all forms of photography, you can't just pick up the phone and call the first photographer whose work you see online. You'll need to do some homework and ask some questions in order to make sure that you get the right photographer for your event and at a fair price. So, in this episode, I'll be sharing with you tips on how to choose the right photographer for your event. Check out the portfolios of different photographers. Now, say for example, you want to do a documentary piece on the adverse effects of industrial waste on a particular community. Now, a maternity and baby photographer may not be the best pick for that kind of project. No, you may want to go for a photographer who is more experienced in landscape photography with a little bit of wildlife photography and photojournalism as well. A good way to find photographers who are experienced in a particular field is to look at their work, to look at their portfolio. This will not only tell you if they have experience in the field that's relevant to you or to your project, but it will also let you know if they can tell the story through pictures in a way that you want it told. Define your theme and objectives. I'll use myself as an example for this point. In a few weeks, I'll be covering a women's empowerment seminar or conference, and my default approach to such an event is that I'll be taking pictures of people in attendance, the guests in the audience, as well as the people on the panel. Now, if I limit myself to that approach, chances are my pictures are going to be a little bit bland and boring. However, if the organizer has a theme for their event, I'll most likely be able to capture, the theme surrounding the event in a more creative way. Or perhaps the decor and the design of the layout or the venue may be very creative and colorful, and because it's a women's event, it most likely will be. Or perhaps there'll be special dignitaries in attendance, or there may be a red carpet. My point is, once you, the project manager or the organizer, can identify what your theme and objectives for your event or your project are, they can help to serve as a guideline in helping you choose the right kind of photographer. A photographer who can follow a client's brief and one who also knows how to pay attention to details. Ask around about your shortlisted photographers. Now, once you've shortlisted a few photographers that you're considering to cover your wedding, for example, ask around about those photographers. Ask people that may know them, or ask from people who may have hired them in the past. By doing so, you may be able to gather information such as, what their price range is, or what the experience of working with that photographer was like. It may surprise some of you to know that the energy level and the enthusiasm that a photographer brings to a photo shoot is almost as important as the pictures that he delivers at the end of the day. Being positive, enthusiastic, and upbeat really goes a long way in inspiring confidence at a photo shoot, especially those photo shoots that tend to go on for hours and hours. The photographer may need to transfer that positive energy to the model or to the couple or to the client in order to keep the creative juices flowing throughout the shoot. And this is the quality that a lot of great photographers possess. People like Jide Alakija, for example. I mean, you can rarely come across a former client of his without them talking about how much fun it was to work with Jide during their shoot. And, you know, that kind of comment, that kind of feedback really makes for a good referral. That's it for this episode for the fortnight. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have your own suggestions on how to select or choose a photographer for your event or wedding, the right photographer for your event or project, I should say, please leave your suggestions in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Just log in with your Gmail details and hit the subscribe button. And remember to visit my website, which is www.abumary.com. Thanks so much, guys. I will see you in a fortnight.